Joan, it's Mandy here. So your son Keith has requested that maybe I make a video for you. So I thought what I would do is put together just a short video with some stretches you can do in the mornings or at any time of day that you like. Just keep it simple for now, and something that just might limber you up a little bit for the day and just get the body moving a little. It always feels so good. So all you'll really need for this is a mat or a comfortable space. If you don't have a mat, it doesn't matter. You can just do it on the floor or put a towel down or something like that. And if your knees ever tend to bother you, we'll do a little bit of stuff on hands and knees, then maybe you'll want to put a little cushion down, or a blanket is always nice too, just to give a little bit of padding. So yeah, so when you sit down, I'm not sure if you're comfortable cross-legged or not, but if you are, you can take that position and then switch your feet to the other side. So it's always nice to switch things up, and I always encourage my students to try something different and sort of break the habits that you're in physically, so with your body. This is Salchicha, my dog, exploring here. So we always want to try something different. So if you can switch your legs, and if you're not comfortable cross-legged, you can always just have your legs straight out in front, or you can take a nice wide V as well. Oftentimes when we're seated, I'll have to get a little bit of feedback from you about how you feel seated. But one trick is to move the flesh of your seat away, and then that kind of brings the pelvis in a little bit more of an upright position, so then you can get a little longer through the spine when you're seated. Often we kind of feel like we're struggling to stay upright. So if that's the case here, then a wider base might be more comfortable. So having your feet either together like this with your legs out to the sides, or your knees out to the sides, or a wide V, or just having the legs crossed. So whatever works best for you there. But the first thing I like to do is just do a brief meditation. So go ahead and close your eyes and start taking some nice breaths in and out through your nose. And just really begin to arrive in the space that you're in. So feeling your body on the floor, feeling your connection with the ground below you. Taking nice, long, even breaths in and out through your nose. Let your arms and shoulders relax. Relax your face as well. Let your jaw be loose. And as you breathe, begin to draw the sensation of the breath deeper into your body. So seeing if you can maybe find some movement in your belly as you breathe. You can even put one hand here if you want. Finding some movement in the belly. And then see if you can draw the breath even lower. So like you're drawing it right from your seat. And of course the air doesn't go down all the way there, but drawing the sensation, the energy of your breath all the way down. And it can have a very grounding effect. So this is really good if you're ever feeling anxious or stressed out, just to really connect with the ground. So after a few minutes of breathing, and we can get more into meditation if you're interested in that later. But then we'll take the arms out to either side, and with your palms facing up, we inhale, rise the arms up overhead. And then exhale, flip the palms over and bring them down. So see if you can match the length of your breath with your movement. So inhaling all the way up, so that when your hands reach each other, you're at the top of your inhale, and then exhaling all the way down. Good, so a couple more just like that. Inhaling up, stretch your body long, exhale down, and one last one. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Now go ahead and change the position of your legs if you need to. And then we'll find a little side-to-side movement. So I like to kind of just bend from the side, moving the spine a little bit. So it's important that each time we practice, we move the spine in many different directions. So we want to go side to side, forward and back, and also find a little twist. So we can remember that whenever we're stretching, moving the body. So we find a side-to-side movement, and this can be really subtle. You can just sort of be moving here, especially if you're feeling extra stiff. You don't want to force anything. Or you can make it a bigger motion, and you can even bring the arms into it if you want to. And if you notice any areas that feel extra tight or tense, you can stop and breathe into it. And then just keep on moving. So remember that this practice is for you, and for you only. So taking a time, you can pause the video, you can breathe, you can stop, you can do whatever you need to do, because it's all about you and your body, okay? So taking that few breaths to just sort of check in again, see where you're feeling any blockages, any tightness or soreness, or if you're feeling nice and loose and easy, then that's great. So we've moved a little side to side. Now we'll come forward and back a little. So taking your hands to your knees, we're going to come back, pull your belly button in towards your spine and make it like a C with the front of your body. So you sink back here, and then we're going to press forward. So bring the shoulders back, take the chest forward, and almost like you're scooping down with your chin. And then coming back. So we're moving through the hips and just swaying through the spine here. So a couple of movements here, checking in with your breath. So once you've got the movement down, take your time to figure the movement out. It takes a little bit of extra coordination, so getting that, and then notice your breath as you move. So maybe just simply recognizing where you're inhaling and where you're exhaling. One last one here. Good, and then coming back to seated. Okay, so from here, we'll move a little bit through the neck, but we always want to be very careful with your neck. So we'll sit up nice and tall, inhale up, and then exhale, bring your chin down to your chest. So relax through your shoulders and neck, let them be loose, relax your arms. And just take a couple breaths here, maybe feeling a stretch down the back of the neck or into your upper back. Let your head just be taken by gravity. Good, and if that's feeling fine, you can turn your head to one side and then to the other. So just getting a little bit of movement through the neck. Taking your time here. Good, and then back to center, looking down. And then on the next inhale, we'll bring the head back up to center. Good, so now we'll take some shoulder circles. So I like to start moving backwards for some reason, so we'll just rotate back. And you can make this motion small or big. It's up to you. You can do a little bit of both, but make sure you do the other direction. So that's one of the golden rules of yoga, is whatever you do on one side, you've got to do on the other. So make sure you do both sides. Excellent. And then shake it up. Take a little shake up. Shaking up anything that you're holding on to that you don't want anymore, and we just get rid of it. Swish it away. Good. Get rid of it. Okay, awesome. So now come over onto your hands and knees. So make sure you've got what you need to be comfortable here. So if you want to get a cushion or a blanket for below your knees, you might want to do that. Or a puppy on your mat. So then whenever you have your hands down, it's very important that you use wide fingers, okay? So spread your fingers wide, press them all down into the mat, and then you want to check that your wrist, your elbow, and your shoulders are in alignment. So definitely make the time to check in with that. And then you want your knees directly below your hips as well. So once you find that, then we're in tabletop position. So this is a nice place to be. And from here we'll start our cat and cow poses. So first we'll come into cat. And I like to start the movement with the tailbone. So the first thing we do is drop the tail down. The pelvis rotates forward. So we drop that down. At the same time, you'll pull your belly button up in towards your spine. So pulling, arching through the back slowly, slowly. And then at the end, your head comes down. So you stretch up, out through the upper back, find lots of space there. And then coming into cow, you'll tilt the pelvis towards the back again, pulling the tail up, drop through the belly, open through the ribs, pressing down, so stretching through the belly here, making a nice long line through the front of the body, and at the end the head comes up. Good, and this is cow pose. So then we'll take a couple of rounds through cat and cow. So taking your time, again, checking in with how you're breathing. So noticing if you're inhaling or exhaling into each position, and just taking note of that. So one more. And then sink your hips back. We'll come into child's pose. So just rest the hips back, stretch your arms forward, and bring your forehead to the mat. So just releasing down here. Breathing into the upper back here. See if you can direct your breath to open the space between your shoulder blades. Good. Come up, walk your hands a little bit forward, and then draw your hips back for puppy pose. So hips stay back and up. So then we reach forward with the hands, press your hands into the mat, and draw back with your hips, and that should create a nice long stretch through the side body and the arms. So again, lower the head here. Play around with all of the poses a little bit just to see where you feel good, where you find a nice stretch. Good. And then coming back to child's pose. And then we'll walk the hands over towards the right, and then sink back the hips towards the left. So you're creating a nice long line of stretch from the outside of your left hand to the outside of your left hip. Breathing into that. Walking the hands over to the other side. Good. So coming back to center, another couple breaths in child's pose. And then coming back to seated. So for this one, we're actually just going to take it really easy. We're not even going to come up into any downward facing dogs, no standing positions or anything like that. But we'll get a little stretch through the legs here. So go ahead and come into this position with one leg extended, one leg tucked in. And see if you can find a nice tall position for the spine. So we want to avoid being slumped over here. So just sitting up as tall as we can, relaxing here. Taking a few breaths. And you can find the position of your legs that feels like you're getting a little bit of a stretch, but not too much. So you can widen the stance of the legs a little if you like. But just check in that your knees and toes are facing up rather than rolling in. So taking a couple of breaths here. If you'd like to do some side stretches at the same time, you can feel free to do that. I really encourage you to explore with the positions. Find what feels good for you. So every body is different. Everybody's got different things that they enjoy or that their body actually needs. Mine, I have some certain stretches that I have to do every day in order to function. Really, I've got some hip stuff going on that there's some stretches I really need to do each day, otherwise I don't feel well. So we've got that. You can take your legs into this position with your soles of your feet together and just find a little opening through the hips and thighs here. Again, taking a nice tall stance. You can close your eyes and breathe. Imagining that your knees are being pulled down towards the ground by gravity. Well, they are, but imagine a force maybe a little stronger so you can get a little more opening there. Good. And then coming into any seated position that feels comfortable, and we'll just get a little stretch through the shoulder here. You can bring your arm across. Still sitting nice and tall. Nice breath. Release. The other side. Careful not to put pressure on any joints. So you don't want to be pushing on your elbow here. So just a nice guiding across the body for opening through the shoulders. And then we can take the arms into eagle pose arms, okay? So we'll start with the right arm straight in front, making like an L bent at the elbow. And then take your left arm, wrap it underneath, and then around. So if this is available to you, we want the arm something like this, and then we'll come up, or we can just find a variation. So something like this works too if you're unable to do this today. So what we want to be feeling is an opening through the shoulder blades. So just right in between, right where your angel wings come out. So we want to open there. Taking a couple breaths. And then releasing. Shake it out a little bit. And then we'll do the other side. So left arm comes across, wrap the right under and around. Bring it up a little, so you'll probably feel as you raise the elbows higher, you get a little deeper into the shoulders. Breathing here. Good, and release. Shake them out. Finding any other movements in your body that you feel like you would enjoy right now. So anything. And then at the very end, whenever you're ready to finish up, we'll take a few minutes for Savasana, or a final resting pose. So you'll come down onto the floor on your back. If you're more comfortable with a pillow or something under your knees, that's fine. Take your hands out beside you, arms gently resting away from your body. Let your feet fall out to the sides. Close your eyes. And just taking some nice long breaths. Relaxing your body as you lay down. Scanning through from head to toe, releasing any tension with every breath you take. And you want to stay here in your Savasana for at least 5 minutes. So make sure you take the time to do that, and then you're done. So please let me know how you enjoyed this session. Anything that you feel you're unable to do, something you want more of, and then we can kind of tailor things a little bit to work best for you. So I hope you feel great, got the blood flowing a little bit, and got a nice stretch, and I hope you have an amazing day. So at the end of our sessions, we always say, Namaste. Thank you so much.